The Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has threatened to embark on a nationwide strike if states in the Federation fail to expedite action on the implementation of the National Minimum Wage Law. President of TUC, that's Festus Osifo, has also called on state governments to urgently implement consequential adjustments to the newly signed National Minimum Wage. Osifo emphasized the need for state governments to go beyond announcing minimum wage figures and begin to engage in meaningful dialogue with organized labor to ensure the proper implementation of consequential adjustments. The labor leader criticized states like Cross River and Zamfara for failing to prioritize workers' welfare, citing the example of ongoing strikes in those states and lack of discussions as evidence of neglect. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss this threat and the need for states to facilitate the process of implementation in order to avoid industrial unrest. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Many thanks for being here.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being here as usual.
Of course. Now, we saw the example of what's happening in Zamfara State. And I would just like us to look at it maybe on a case-by-case basis. So beyond the immediate demands, what do you think are the deeper structural issues in Nigeria's federal fiscal framework that are preventing consistent wage policy execution across the states?
That's a very lengthy question.
All right.
But let's limit ourselves to this topic. Zamfara is one of the states that has not implemented. That's what Osifo has said. And it's in order, about 4 states. I have no apologies or no sympathy for any state that has at this point in time has not implemented the minimum wage. He said they have shown nonchalance. I think it is administrative negligence. And it should come at a cost to them. Because this is a democracy. These people were elected into office. And they need the workers to make the state productive. So it is in the interest of their own election or their incumbency that they must take care of the welfare of the masses, especially those they call them red-collar jobs. Yeah. You know, they're in the civil service. Right. I think Osifo has made the right call and at the right time. But he made more calls than that. In my own estimation or suggestion is that any state that has not implemented it by December 1st should face industrial action, should face massive, well-organized industrial action. Let the TUC and the trade union mobilize people so that that government knows the import of what it has done. I won't suggest to them that, well, I will just say one or two things. When I was in the bank, the Nubife people used to strike at Christmas time. I know the fury of customers at Christmas time. Yeah. So invariably, they will have to call off the strike and pay the workers. I'm not advisor to the TUC, but I think nobody can blame them now if we go on strike on December 1st as threatened.
But do you think it will make any difference if TUC was to go on strike today on account of the issue of the minimum wage law not being passed? Because, like you said, any state that hasn't passed it, this thing has been going on for years now.
Yeah.
So for crying out loud, it's been dragged
just
on
for
this.
States.
Yes.
That's
so
why,
if it's been dragged, so
state by state, no way.
Very
just
good. So
states.
based on their stance, do you think, okay, fine, will they rather wait till TUC go on strike before doing the needful, you think?
That is their own funeral. And that is why I'm not on their side. I'm on the side of the industrial institution. They have waited long enough. That strike is a weapon, a legitimate weapon, to make management do what it has promised to do. And 4 out of 36, they are in the minority. They should be ashamed of themselves. So I'm with TUC on this. This is not an idle threat. And I'm sure when the workers are mobilized and they come out, these are elected governors. 27 is coming. It's because the Democratic Party in the U.S. ignored the blue-collar workers. That's why they lost the election.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they should deal with them a la 2027. But if they do not implement it, let the strike take its course.
All right, well, so Mr. Sobowale, your call for December 1st definitely sounds feasible. Yeah. But do you have any concerns that if they go ahead to implement it, that there might be also a slowdown when it comes to consistency? That's keeping the payment consistent.
Look, they say these people have not paid. Let them pay first before we talk of consistency. There are two different issues. They have not paid. Let them pay. Then we talk about consistency. You can't even talk about consistency because the majority of states have paid, and you will expect they should be consistent. What TUC is saying is that they should not be listening only to say-so of governance, of governments, get me? But they should dialogue to see implementation. See, this is serious-minded industrial relations expert. He said they should not just wait on the face of it that they have approved it, but they should see the implementation. So I'm in line with them on that. And anyway, he said far more than that. You get me? He was even advising government that the banks are not lending to the real sector, that's the manufacturing sector. That's why you have and that's why you have more workers. Again, the blue-collar job workers, those in construction, electricians, those working on turbines, those in the real sector. But that's where employment is. And it is in the interest of any government to increase employment. If you increase employment, if people are employed and are getting rewards for their labor, they are more likely to vote for you than not. So it's offering good advice to government on the banking sector. And I think even went further than that on taxation. That the government is making elaborate preparations on taxation. But you see, people must see services on the ground. These are hard times, you must give some tax relief, which is a challenge to government. It's all right to earn revenue, you get me? But don't make taxation the burden that the poor man cannot bear. He warned of the danger of people avoiding tax. So government should be as diligent in raising tax as it is in providing welfare benefits for people and goods and services and employment from the taxation it has raised. Yeah.
If we can look at the pledges towards increment in wages and what have you recently, especially by state governments, there's been a lot of enthusiasm. Most states are following suit.
Yes. Some are paying more.
Yes, yeah.
And
in fact, it looks like a competition. Yes, it looks like a competition between them.
Comment such states?
Indeed, and one would have thought that is a good development that it motivates workers to do more regarding what they're supposed to do. But how is this also impacting on scenarios such as this, having just like 4 states still in this kind of quagmire? One would have thought that would have been eased out by now.
But 4 states is a substantial minority.
Substantial minority?
Yeah,
even
small.
Yeah.
It's small compared that the two have done it. That's something. In fact, if not for the fact that the welfare of people is concerned,
yeah.
You get me? Maybe they can be asked to give excuses. But now, there can be no excuses. That's why I don't like industrial threats.
Yes.
Because when the strikes come, they can get out of hand and things like that. But this time I'm for this. If you have 32 out of 36, the 4 are culprits to be accused of culpable negligence in looking after the welfare of their people. Indeed. I don't have any pity for them. Let the industrial action take place.
All right, Mr. Sobowale, thank you for joining us and for your insight. We appreciate your time. Thank you.